Everybody, Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuits, and I have been putting this off, but I have wanted to make a giant out of this Moana dude for a while, and it's Maui is his name, and my Maui is missing hair, but I'm not going to let that hold me down. So to make this into a D&D giant, first let's check the scale. Yeah, he's pretty giant. I'm going to go ahead and say he's a giant. Perfect. And this is a 3.5-inch base. Though I would say he is probably gargantuan, which would be a 4-inch base, but I'm digging it. So we're going to do this 3.5-inch base. It's going to fit good. Let me see what I got here. Somewhere I have a piece of plastic paintbrush that would have made a good weapon if I could find it, but I can't find it. Somewhere. That's gone forever. Yep, gone. All right. So one of the things I don't like about this Maui is he looks very cartoony, and so I'm going to try to fix that. And I would recommend you don't try to fix stuff like this unless you are willing to scrap a project. Because if I mess up what I'm about to do, it's going to make it hard. So his nose is kind of like flat and wide. I'm just going to snip that off just like this with my little cutter McBobber. And as Doug Marcaida would say, it will cut or it will kill. And then I'm going to take a piece of skewer and my snippers, and I'm going to make him a custom nose. And I want my nose to kind of be bent in a couple places, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly tug on it with these things and use my finger to kind of bend it down and make a more troll-looking nose, just like that. And it's a little bit longer than I wanted, so I'm just going to come in here and hope I don't break my piece. I lost a little bit there. That's okay. I think we can make it work. I don't know if I had enough glue in my gun. All right, I need a little bit more glue. Okay, let's try that. I'm going to rub it back and forth and get it going down at an angle over that mouth, just like that. Okay. And then that glue is going to become his nostrils on the sides. Now I'm going to get a toothpick . I'm going to hold my piece of toothpick like that. Get a little dab of glue off the tip of the gun. I'm going to kind of shove that down just like that to be a tooth. And then I just was looking at this one. I'm going to do the same thing here. And this makes kind of a comical kind of thing. I'm going to get those spider webs real quick, because I don't want those. Okay. Alright, that one's going to need a little bit more attention than it had. Okay. Alright, so I got his face a little fixed up. I don't know if I really like that nose, but I think I'm going to make it work for now. Now his ears, I want those to be a little more pointed. And I think the easiest way to do that is just going to be to get a piece of like glue box or something. What do I got here? Lots of plastic boxes or paper pieces here. We go into the trash. Here I have some little cardboard that I can cut some points off of. And these don't have to be perfect. Oh, wrong angle. There we go. Wrong angle. There we go. Wrong angle. Close. And to do this, all I'm doing is I'm going to get tweezers. I'm going to grab that by the corner. I'm going to round that on my thumb a little bit. Grab that. I'm just going to get a tiny bit of glue right there, like that. And then come behind the ear and just kind of wiggle it around and work it into place to extend his ears out. And then you'll see what I do next. It'll kind of fix it some. Okay, same thing on this side. I've got it curved. I'm just going to get a little dab of glue in there, just like that, and rub it around behind that ear, kind of get it to where I want it to sit. Okay, once I have those in place, I'm going to get my glue gun. I'm just going to get a tiny bit of glue dabbed on there to fill in that crack where the ear meets the thing, just like that. Oh, a little bit much. And I'm going to rub it around the edges of the ear to catch it and drag it out to the point a couple times and try to fill that in. And then once that cools, I'll come in there and smooth that down a little bit more. So we're going to grab it to each other side of the edge of the ear and drag it out. Okay, now I don't want to give him big Maui hair like he had, but I want him to have some kind of hair, and I'm not sure how I want to do that. So let's look at this for just a moment and see what kind of options we have. I think there's some easy ones we could do with tinfoil. Make some kind of like plant-like dreadlocks, maybe. We're going to make, because this is ultimately going to be some kind of nature giant. So to do that, I'm just going to get my tinfoil here. I'm going to twist it. Into some plant-like kind of dreadlocky looking things. And I want these to be kind of free moving and not real like boring. I want these to be a little bit interesting. So I'm going to get him on the base first so I can hold on to the base to work on him. Okay. I hope that holds. It's not going to hold without some glue. Real glue. Super glue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some glue under there. Run it up to his sides of his feet. Then I'm just going to use a little bit of baking soda to fill in that gap. And that foot's good. And this foot soon will be too. Is he sturdy now? Yeah. Okay, so for the dreads, these like planty leafy dreads, I'm going to start in the front. And I'm going to make this kind of flush and flat. I'm just going to push it in with my finger and then smash it against my table and get a little bit of an edge. And I'm going to just do these piece by piece, slowly. Just like that. So for those of you that know what's going on, I've been fighting the city. Well, mostly the water department. They've not really been truthful with people, and they've been bullying people. And finally, we had the Public Service Commission come up and conduct a hearing, a public hearing, to address it. And I will say, I don't feel like they were particularly impartial or fair about stuff. And even though their judgment doesn't come out till June, I have my concerns about the fairness that we're going to be experiencing with this hearing. and with this investigation they're conducting. And I will say this, if you are going to fight the government, make sure you have done your research and talked to experts or are an expert, because anything you say, they're going to come back with lawyers and try to refute. Don't just get into these kind of legal fights unless you know what your plan is. Now, I'm lucky. I've worked in this industry for, it'll be coming up on 20 years. 18 right now. So it's coming up on, it'll be 19 years. And I'm lucky. I've had a lot of exposure, a lot of experience, a lot of education. I've met a lot of really good people that are willing to be honest and help. And I've met your fair class of douchebags too. But I will warn you that fighting the city is not a particularly pleasant endeavor. Okay, I did not get a good bond there. Let's try that again. And let's get that angled forward a little bit. Now, I did not set out to make this dude's hair this crazy, but I think it's going to be cool, so I'm going to continue it. Because I don't learn from experience or mistakes. No, I learn from dumb luck. Oh, boo 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 doo doo. Is this dumb and silly? Well, maybe it is. I am not quite certain. That's my neighbor Bill. I am the dumb guy who makes stupid hair growing everywhere from my underwear. Okay, so I don't want them to all be that long and crazy. So what I might do is snip some of these in half or try to modify them in some way to make it work a little better and easier on me. So I'm going to come on the back of the head here, and I'm going to do these ones kind of from, they're going to be shorter ones. So I'm going to come behind that ear, kind of wiggle it around and get it into place. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to curl this one though. I'm going to come behind that ear, kind of get that going. We really don't want this looking like Maui, okay? That's the end game here. We want this to look like Giant Ted or something. But we don't want this to look too much like a Disney star. We don't want this to give off too many Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson vibes, or we might get sued, or we might get kidnapped and taken to some island somewhere, and, you know, who knows? I don't know. I know Disney has a lot of money, and I don't, so let's not piss them off. Okay. You're probably already thinking, Doom, how did you manage to make such an amazing giant? Well, we're still working on it. The weapon will be the true test. With these arms not shifting, it's going to be interesting. Okay. I'm going to snip that off kind of flush. Okay, we have a problem there. So I'm just going to dab a little glue in there and hope it doesn't come out in the wash. Or hope it all comes out in the wash, is the saying. Don't listen to me, guys. I don't know things about stuff. All right. When you're getting into this thicker area in here, you're going to like start doubling up your glue and getting it a little sturdier, or you're going to have, you know, shit popping off your head. Utilize the holes or any kind of pitch you've made in whatever model you're using. Now, you could use any kind of toy for this. You could literally, like this Maui is not even proportioned well for this. He's goofy proportioned. So he's not the best choice, but he's just what I had. I had a couple of these Moana people. I know Maui's name and Moana's name. I don't know the rest. I did see the movie. I just, for the life of me, don't know. Moana, something, something, yay. I don't know the words. I know the tune. That counts, right? Right? And of course, my dumbass sees the movie and goes, oh, so was the island of Maui named after this dude? And I just give the dirtiest look from my wife. And my kids are like, there's an island named Maui? And I'm like, I'm just leaving the room before I get killed. Because I just don't even think when I talk half the time. I'll tell you what, one thing I really appreciated about Moana is there are millions of interesting cultures all over the world. And we just don't have any good vessel to get educated on them unless you're into that kind of stuff. So, for example, like if you want to know about the Greek gods and stuff, you know, the movie Hercules is going to give you a really rough, maybe not accurate depiction of the stories that have been told, but it's going to give you a gist. It's going to give you that campaign setting of what it was, you know. And Disney movies are good for that. Moana was good because I didn't know anything about their lore and their mythology in the Pacific Islands there, Hawaii and stuff. So I thought that was just freaking sick to get a little bit of this story about this crazy demigod who's like running around showing everybody his bush. I mean, turning into animals. Looks like we can put one more back there. We want this one to be a little bit fancy. We're going to shove that right up against that ear. And there's the circle of hair life. Okay. Just like that. Okay, it looks okay. It looks all right. Let's get some of this spider webs burn away. A lot of spider webs in the back. Okay. Now, For his hairline, I think the smart thing to do would just be get glue all around there, and then when it cools, make some jags on it. Now let's fix his ears while we're thinking about it. The glue. I'm just going to smooth those out like that. My plan was to leave the hair back away from the ears a little bit, and I did okay at that. It wasn't perfect. All right, now for a weapon. His arm doesn't move, even though it looks like it should. Yeah, I don't think it'd be coming off easy. Let me find something to use for... I had a piece of paintbrush set aside that I thought would be good for something like this, and I don't know what I did with it. Is it in this drawer? No, I put it somewhere secret. Safe. And I lost it. More hero clicks came in, by the way. I didn't bring them down here. I was going to show them off, and I forgot to. So, since I couldn't find that, we're going to dig into my Halloween skeletons. Or my junk box, I should say, and look for a skeleton leg or something that we can make a cool weapon out of. I don't know if I have that choice then. I don't see one of those either. We'll take this and see if we can use any parts of it. No, we can't. Okay. Moana. Could be looking at my butt, Moana. You a dinky doody doo doo doo. Alright, stick. I gotta look in my wood box now for a stick. Oh, wood box of sticks. Oh, what's this guy looking like here? Is this gonna do it? It'll do it. Okay, so about that far back, we'll do what I want. I do need a head for this axe, though. And I want it to look like stone. So tree bark. Might be the best way to do it if I can find a flattish kind of piece. Something like this, if I can kind of separate it a little bit. Something like that. Like that right there. And then we want to keep these little sprinkles out. We're going to use those. Okay. All right. All right, now we need some string. So I get me my scissors that will cut shit. Some of this string here. See if we can't kind of make something that makes sense here. So I left a gap under there on purpose. And I want to kind of get a little bit of glue here. Let's take this out of his hand to work on it. It'll be easier to see what I'm doing. So I want to get a piece of glue here to get this started. And I just want to kind of make a wrap that's somewhat convincing. Like that. And then I want to come up through there, and I want to come around, and then I want to make this look like it is somehow tied off onto that. And even though that doesn't look great, it'll do what I need. All right. There we go. Something like that. It looks kind of handmade and gruesome. Let's get just a tip of blade out. Carve some deep notches in here to make this look like less of a perfect machined This is something you do before you add the blade. Lesson learned. What can I say but hey, ghetto halberd. It's a halberd, but it's kinda ghetto. Alright. Now I'm going to get a wood gouging tool after I pull this splinter out of my finger. Perfect. It's out. Oh, damn you. Sorry, wood carving tool is sharp. It attacked me. Unprovoked. Of course it was unprovoked. You know me, I'm a peaceful sort. I'm just going to add some additional grooves in here some places, just so that it's a little bit more of an interesting paint job on this. Okay. Let's come back in and double check that everything's holding together. There are some pieces of hair where the tinfoil didn't like match up nice. I'm just going to get some glue, squirt it in those crevices, and then just smash it around. Okay, that's all I'm doing. And then we can come back in later. And there's a hole in his back there. I should just fill that in with glue, I'm thinking. Getting out clay or polymer and trying to do that is just no bueno. So to make sure he's sitting here to dry, I'm just going to pop him down on this and let that cool while I start thinking of some options for some decor on him. On his axe, there's some boring kind of spots, but I think that leaving it like that might work better. So I'm going to get some super glue here, and I'm going to get these ropes good and hard so they'll paint up nicely and they'll be stuck to this well. Okay, then I'm going to get some of these chunks and crumbs. Just like that. I'm going to put some on this side too. I'm just getting chunks and crumbs from my bark. Sprinkling it on there. And I'll let that dry. We don't want it on the string. Alright, this can go in his hand for now. That hot glue should be pretty dry back there. I don't think we're really going to see that part too much. So I'm going to get this halberd back in his hand, and I'm going to shove it this way, just like that. I'm going to let some glue soak into his hand here, and into the wood, and hopefully that makes a nice strong bond. I am now going to saturate the rest of this rope, and hope it soaks in and makes it hard as a rock when it dries. I'm going to come here, saturate that. Okay, I need another glue. Don't worry, I know, guy. I want this to be good and sturdy, so none of this comes apart. Okay, I think that'll stay forever now, if we're lucky. Okay, let's And I'm going to come back over the spots where I sprinkled the stuff and just kind of get it a little extra. Then I'll come along the edge of the blade so that it doesn't disintegrate, because who knows how long this bark's been decaying or falling apart or whatever. Now, as far as the face goes, just get a little bit there. Drip it all over the wood and let it soak in. And then let it kind of run down. We don't want the hair to fall apart. So just get each one of these and run some glue along it and give it a little bit of strength. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's good enough for now, I think. I could be wrong. I'm going to let it all shake down in there. This piece seems a little bit loose yet. To fix that, I'm just going to get a little bit of glue and shove it in there. And then pull it right out and burn it up. Get rid of my spider webs. There's a little bit of loose tinfoil here. I'm just going to grab that, rub my glue gun on it, and clean that up too. Okay. I think this will do what we want it to. We need a shoulder strap for this dude now. And he's pretty long. I doubt that's long enough. But I have some scissors. And we'll just cut this t-shirt edge here. If I'm not mistaken, this is just a folded over piece of garbage that we can open up and make our shoulder strap out of. Let's hope I cut it long enough though. Does it open up? It does. Alright, so, oh, my camera's way out of the way. I'm so sorry, guys. I just cut a piece of fabric to make this. So what I'm going to do, that's too fat. I need something else. Let's try this cardboard. See what I'm doing there? I'm just like curling it. And I'm going to come here, and if there's room, if I can get it under there, which you can almost do, there we go. Yep. So I'm just going to get my glue, and I'm going to walk it up real thin. About that far for now. Then we'll come back and do some more. And I'm going to use that, and I'm going to try to cover up some of that seam on his shoulder there. And I'm going to come down to the back, and I'm going to kind of measure where that disappears. Let's get some glue on here. Get that shoved down into the crack, and I think I just ripped his teeth and nose off. And we'll shove that down in there like that. Okay. Cut off the excess. Out, hot. Alright, we'll leave that go. And I did knock a tooth off. It is now stuck to me. Let's see if we can get it back on there, though. I think we can. Oh, that was a little firmer than I suspected it would be. And we're going to get more glue on his face now, unfortunately. All right. Let's get that shoulder pad kind of formed out and sturdy looking. And to do that, I'm just going to round this off. Fold it in half like that. Cut out a kind of round shape. Roundish. Okay. kind of make that softened up. I'm going to shove a little bit of yum, yum, yum. And then I'm going to put that up there like that. And then we can add spikes or anything to that at this point, and it'll look okay, I think. All right. Do we need anything else? Well, we got some seams. The arm seam. Now you're thinking, oh, Doom, you're getting glue everywhere. Yeah, I know. Just be patient, my dudes. Don't you worry your ugly little heads. We're going to clean this dude up. It's going to look all right, I think. Okay, so he does have some natural texture on him, which makes this harder than what I normally would do. I'm trying to maintain some of that natural texture, even though he's Maui. I don't think people are going to look at it and go, Maui tattoos. Yeah, they will. He looks totally like Maui. I'm a piece of shit. All right. Excess. Melt it. Blow on it. Melt it. Blow on it. Something like that. Still looks a lot like Maui. Not really my fave thing. Let's soak all this in glue again and let it run down in his cracks and onto his stuff. All right, now again, he's some kind of like weird like nature giant, like a forest giant or something. So all right, I think what we're going to do is add some vines and stuff to him after we have him painted. I'm just going to try to fill this in a little bit better. Not putting an enormous amount of effort into it. I'm not super worried about it. I'm going to melt some of this glue back here. There we go. Something like that. We're going to melt that so it's smooth. All right, so I'm going to paint him up, and then we'll come back, or base coat him, then we're going to come back and paint him up. Oh, I'd like to put a wristband on there. Hold on. Let's try it. It may or may not work. Let's get a wristband on there. Oh, shit is falling down everywhere. All right, we're going to start there. Kind of where we want it. We're going to wrap it around and then just hold it for a moment and let that cool. We're going to get some of this here. Just a little dab of that will do it. We're going to wrap that around and try to meet them up. And so we're going to work our way slowly around until we get it kind of how we need it. And hopefully this next part will be what we need. Okay, so we get that there, back where it was, down and around, meet up those end pieces like that, cut it off with snips, get a tiny dab of glue, work that into that crack. Yeah, I would do that on the back side. Then once that cools, we'll dab it with a little super glue. Kind of hold it. Then I'll paint him with a base coat. Hey, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, and all that happy crappy, including comments, which pleases the algorithm spirits. I would appreciate your help in my endeavor to grow the channel. And if you can't, I understand. Check the link down there, the description down there, I should say. There's going to be a link to the website, swag.com. I have a little piece of bark here. I'm just going to use it as a rock. And I think this piece of, or this glue here should be able to hold it in place for me if I'm lucky. We'll see. I could be wrong. Comment, website, Discord. Come check us out on Discord. It's cool. We got a place there you can hang out. I enjoy it. You might. We'll see you next time.